New from Arrow Video on 4K is Hellraiser, and oh my god, it's been so many years since I actually watched Hellraiser, a good 10 or so, and it's one of those movies that you forget how phenomenally good it is until you sit down and watch this one.
Jesus wept.
Directed by Clive Barker, based on a story he wrote, we're introduced to Frank Cotton, a man who is looking for experiences, only to find himself in the clutches of Cenobites that tear him apart. And we kind of jump to Frank's brother Larry and his wife Julia as they move into a new house, as they kind of try to deal with Kirsty, who is Julia's stepdaughter, Larry's daughter. There seems to be a bit of friction in the relationship there. When they're moving in, Larry gets an injury, dropping some blood, a lot of blood from his wound in the kind of attic room, and from that we see the rebirth of Frank. Frank comes back from hell, escaping his way out there, finding his way into this few specks of body parts that he has left, a shallow of the man he used to be, who needs fresh blood and meat to regenerate into that full horrific person that he was. And throughout this, you kind of get a backstory of Frank, and a backstory particularly of Frank and Julia, who seem to have an illicit affair at some point. And Julia, a woman who is torn between two brothers, one who is steady, one who has a good prospect for the future, and one that is just genuinely exciting. Sins of the flesh personified here, and she has made her choice and starts luring men back to the house so that Frank can, well, cannibalise their body parts and help build himself back into being a human being. Hellraiser is a terrific story. It's so wonderfully directed and so wonderfully filled with effects and characters, and it's it feels like such a big story that you actually forget how small a production it really is. We have a house, we have a couple of rooms elsewhere, we don't travel a lot in this, there are minimum locations here, there are minimal characters in here, but it feels expansive in the story it's telling. When you get to see the horrific Cenobites, they are gross, they're disgusting, they look like humans that have been tortured and ripped apart under weird experiments. They look devilish in all the right ways. As you see Frank starting to regenerate himself, it's a wonderful effect. Icky, you can feel the viscosity of the goo just dripping off of him as this skinless person slowly starts to build muscle mass, slowly starts to gain skin at certain points. It becomes a wonderful growing effect, and at no point throughout it do you feel like it's effect. It feels like a person, which just adds to it.
Every drop of blood you spill puts more flesh on my bones, and we both want that, don't we?
The horror and the terror within Hellraiser is all the stuff of nightmares. It's terrifying to even think about some of the things that goes on here. The young character of Kirsty is someone that is morphed and shaped by the family members in her life in more horrific ways than just general family members morph people within their lives. She is tortured and pursued and hunted almost by Uncle Frank. Even when you jump back to flashbacks and you see them together, there's just something icky about that character of Frank, the way he acts round about Kirsty.
It's Uncle Frank.
No.
You remember?
No.
Come to Daddy.
And Kirsty at the end of this one becomes our damsel in distress. But it's not a typical horror story. It doesn't fall into all the traps and tropes that were typical in the 80s of these kind of horror films. This is something different, something beyond, something truly nightmarish and horrific, and it looks wonderful and it holds up terrifically well, and it's just a fantastic film. Let's dive into the disc of Hellraiser and see what extras there are. Let's go to the special features. We have 3 audio commentaries. We've got a new one with Stephen Jones and Kim Newman, one from 2000 with Clive Barker and Ashley Lawrence, and one from 1996 with Barker himself. We have Power of Imagination, in-depth conversation between scholars Scorcia Ni Phelan, editor of Clive Barker, Dark Imagineer, and Carmel Niprath, about Hellraiser and the world of Clive Barker, filmed exclusively for Arrow in 2023. It's 58 minutes and 14 seconds. Unboxing Hellraiser, celebrating the Lament configuration with author Alexandra Benedict, as she looks closely at one of her most beloved films, recorded exclusively for Arrow Video in 2023. And I love this extra. It was very well attributed towards modern day sensibilities with YouTubes, with unboxings, with the kind of way the world is going. I loved the way they tackled that, and it was exquisitely done. The Pursuit of Possibilities, acclaimed horror authors Paula D. Asher and Eric LaRocca celebrate the inherent queerness of Hellraiser and the importance of Clive Barker as a queer writer and influence on Barker and the films on their lives and work. Flesh is a Trap, an intimate appreciation of the ways in which the art, books and movies of Clive Barker embrace bodily existence, even as they endeavour to transcend it, by author and film critic Guy Adams. This is something really special. At 18 minutes 19 seconds, it is wonderfully done. It's poetic, matched with such fantastic visuals. It creates a mood and a feeling and feels very much akin to Hellraiser itself. This was a truly exceptional extra. We have behind the scenes, which are electronic press kit segments from when the film was released. We have archival special features, which have been on previous releases. We have trailers for Hellraiser, TV spots and image galleries. And that's the extras for Hellraiser. So there we have it. Hellraiser, a wonderful start to this Hellraiser box set. Stick along with me as I continue this journey into parts 2, 3 and 4, which I am really looking forward to checking out. Never seen part 4, so I'm kind of eager to get there at some point. Hopefully it's as good as I've heard. We'll figure out soon enough. But I would love to know your thoughts on Hellraiser. Do you love it? Hate it? Fall somewhere in the middle? What do you think of it now? Do you think it still holds up? Let me know in the comment box below. Really want to have a discussion about this one. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to the Patreon membership program and manvfilm.com, always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.